The TBO stands for the Trending Breakout Indicator, and it's this indicator that I put on basically every single one of my daily market updates. Today, I want to unveil the secrets behind this indicator, what makes it so special and unique, and why I've been using this indicator since 2019. The TBO stands for the Trending Breakout Indicator, which is really important. It gives you a clue as to what this thing does. First off, there are lots of different symbols here that I want to break down for you real quick. For starters, the main thing you have to know is that the TBO is comprised of a couple of different bits and pieces. For starters, there is the cloud, and the cloud will generate different alerts, whether it's a closed long, whether it is a open long or an open short. We'll get into these in a second. And there's also support and resistance that are automatically plotted by the TBO. So what makes this thing so special is that this is basically your Swiss Army knife for crypto trading or any type of trading. But the TBO works really, really well on crypto charts, 24/7 charts, precious metals, commodities, not so well on stocks. And I'll show you why in a second. So why I love this thing is really simple. And we really just have to start with the cloud. I'm actually going to go ahead and hide support and resistance for now. The reason why this is such a powerful indicator is because these 4 moving averages have proved to do so much in showing us the strength and health and the well-being of a trend. Now, you've heard me talk about it a lot, and when we have the price above this green mass right here, or if it is a pink mass like this, whenever we are above or below this mass, think of this like the Ichimoku clouds. If you've ever used Ichimoku clouds or ever used like Bollinger Bands, well, you never see the price go above or below the Bollinger Bands, but there are extremes to this, right? So when we're looking at the TBO and the price is well above this cloud, this is what I call being strong bullish or strong bearish. It's a sign that we should most likely continue to be strong bullish or strong bearish. And then when we see the price start to poke and start to move inside of the cloud from the top inside like this, now we're switching into consolidation. Consolidation is essentially whenever a price goes sideways, okay? So we can have bearish consolidation, which basically means chop all the way to the outside, or rather the bottom of the cloud, and bullish consolidation to the top side of the cloud. So one thing that makes the TBO great is that it gives us an idea of how bullish or bearish a chart is, and it also lets us know when that trend might be changing. And that's where we get into 2 of my favorite alerts here. So these blue and orange diamonds are called close shorts. This orange one's a close short. This one is a close long. This is not an immediate directive, as if we're robots and we're just going to always close here, but it will let us know that the current trend, whether it's a bullish uptrend or a bearish downtrend, could be coming to an end soon. So do one of 2 things. 1, consider taking some profits out once you see these guys, ideally after the price comes back up and tags this thick green line, or if it's a bearish event, this thick pink line. Why? Because usually these symbols will print before we see our open long or our open short. And you can see that right here. We have our open short about a week after we get our closed longs. Vice versa, we have our closed short, and then about 10 days later, we have an open long. The open long and the open short will often be late. The idea of this indicator is for the signals not to be early. It's for them to confirm an uptrend or a downtrend. Any indicator, whether it's super trend, whether it's Ichimoku, whether it's other moving averages or MACD, when we have extended periods of chop like this, sideways price action, we're going to get a lot of noise in either direction. But what's awesome is that the more we get of these TBO close shorts, or back over here, TBO close longs, getting multiples of these really helps to grab your attention, to make you pay attention to what's happening, because this is letting you know, man, you've just had an incredible uptrend ever since about $40,000. And if you took profit here and you got out, cool. But if you haven't yet, man, oh man, take some out right here. And it lets us know well before the price dives and we lose, instead of 50%, now it's down to 15%. When we look here at the open longs, these will often appear at places where we feel like, you know what, no, I'm not going to be fooled again. There's been so much chop. But the reality is that these open longs, when they actually hit and they are ridiculously on point, like this one, you can get into an incredible uptrend while everyone else is scrambling, trying to get in, trying to figure out where to get in as the price is pushing up higher. So using the strength of the trend, which the TBO shows us, gives us great entries that help us to maximize profits by staying in a trend as long as possible. Now, there are other parts of this indicator that are really, really awesome. The other part is where we get the namesake from, our TBO breakouts and also our breakdowns. Now, these are going to be printing based off of multiple factors. And the pro version of the indicator actually has a toggle feature where you can not only change what's going to be printing these TBO breakouts, but how many are printed. But we're only going to talk about the TBO in this video. So when we get these white dots, these are letting us know that we should see an explosive breakout to the upside happen soon. Ideally, we want to see 3 in a row. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row, that's the best. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen moves like this where the price of BTC goes up 8% and it gives it all away, and then all of a sudden it rockets up higher. The thing is this, the TBO breakouts will always be printed after our open long. And going a little bit further than that, we have our closed shorts that are happening well before that. So the way that you can interpret these signals is as this. TBO closed shorts are the early bullish reversal signal. TBO open long is giving you that uptrend confirmation, even if it might mean you get stopped out. More on that in a second. And then breakouts let you know, buckle up, buttercup, here we go. Like things are going to really take off after here. These are great breakout confirmation signals, and they work in both ways. We can get bullish breakouts. We can also get bearish breakdowns. And we have to go back over here to 2020. Here we go. 2022 in May, and over here, January 2022. When we get 3 of these in a very tight range, again, a breakout cluster, or in this case, a breakdown, this can be a very, very negative downtrend predicting indicator. So when we get these, even if the price goes against us a little bit, just like the breakouts went against us a little bit, it still gave us that devastating breakdown. And this happened not only there, it happened back over here. And even though it took the price about 30 days to really break down, this was spot on that this is a very strong bearish move. But this is where the indicator starts to really put everything together. Having the symbols is great, but being conscious and aware of the slow line here, which I reference a lot in my daily market update videos, helps us determine how much we should be paying attention to all these signals. For instance, if I know that we have a strong macro bearish trend, meaning that this slow line is pointing down, it's the slowest of the 4 moving averages. Let me go ahead and put on the indicator labels right here so you can see. So the slow line is the one that's at the top, right there, okay? So when we have a strong bearish, as in this slow line is pointing down a lot, we should go with the trend. This is what makes this indicator so helpful. So when we have a strong bullish uptrend like this, we need to go with the uptrend, even if it's only for 19%. When we get a couple of these incredible setups from the TBO, like back over here in 2020 October, we get our open long, we get our TBO breakouts here below 20K. The price of Bitcoin from this point absolutely explodes up higher and higher and higher until we finally get our open short. That's an insane move. And it's not just all these moves that have previously happened. If we go to Zcash, which is pumped recently, guess what? Same exact setup. Not only do we have our closed short, we have our open long, then we get our breakouts on the daily time frame telling us, watch out, this thing's really going to explode. After the breakouts, it pumped 942%. And to make matters even crazier, during this entire uptrend, the slow line continues to point up, so that even if we get a pullback like this towards this green line, the TBO fast line, these are actually giving us new entry opportunities. And these are what I call TBO springboard bounces. And this is where support and resistance comes back into play. If I go ahead and put these guys on support and resistance, these are awesome. Now, I know how to identify support and resistance. It's great. It's really easy to do. It's not that hard. But the beautiful thing about the TBO support and resistance levels is twofold. For one, we get confirmation of bigger bullish breakouts. Like back over here, if we look at the price action of Zcash back in the early days, starting in September September the 6th. It starts to go up higher. Then we see this red dotted line that's automatically plotted by the indicator. And then we see the price push above it. That's a huge move. Basically, that's breaking out above support. If you wanted to know if there's a bullish breakout happening, the TBO breakout's letting us know, watch out, and then we finally get it. That's a massive signal. So we can see these TBO resistance lines getting pushed up higher and higher and higher and higher. So when we get this pullback after a massive uptrend, like we did over here on Zcash, down here to the fast line, this is giving us our TBO springboard bounce entry, which is what I like to call it. And the expected target is from the fast line up here to TBO resistance. In this case, it's 55%. I took this entry. So right now I'm up about 17%, which is nuts because if you've been waiting for an entry on Zcash after it went parabolic yet again, everyone is afraid to enter on a pullback. But with the TBO, I have confidence seeing this doing this exact same thing back over here, and it's doing it over here again. Now, there are two symbols that I rarely use when I'm trading, and it's the cross up and the cross down symbols. I want to show these to you because you probably wondered about these green and red X's. What these mean and what they're supposed to do is the green X is letting us know that the price should curl up, basically like a big J. And red is letting us know the price should go like a candy cane, going up before it goes back down. These symbols are often unreliable. Sometimes they'll work out well, but most of the time they're not going to be that great. So why keep them? Well, the reality is that our DCA backtester is awesome because this is the best way for us to find out great strategies, great settings, using the TBO indicator to run our very own DCA bot, or at least an emulator to figure out how well this could work. Now, of course, we're going to get some incredible performance if we just use an ASAP bot. But to be honest, one of the best ways to run this bot, in my opinion, is going to be using the TBO and using the TBO right here, cross up or cross down. To be honest, the cross down is one of my favorite indicators to use. This is all like crazy stuff, so I haven't even fixed these numbers. We'll do something like random. Like I don't even know what this is going to look like. Take profit 2%, cool. And this is on the daily time frame. It's going to look really terrible here. But on the hourly time frame, man, oh man, this is going to be awesome. We're going to see lots of incredible entries here, and it's going to help us use DCA strategies to get some really good gains. Now, buying and holding on a chart like this makes way more sense. But these signals, the green X's right here, or the red X's, whichever we're going to use, provide some incredible volatile entry signals for DCA bots. So that's why they stay. Now, I mentioned before that the TBO works really well in 24/7 charts. So like Bitcoin, all these crypto coins, it works really, really, really well. It also works well on futures charts. So like gold, so we're here on Oanda, so like precious metals, works well. If we're looking at like Brent crude oil, works well. Looking at the Nikkei, so we're looking at other world currencies and looking at these futures charts. Even like the S&P futures, it works pretty well. But to be honest, when we start to look at stocks individually, like Tesla, while Tesla is great, the problem with the stock market is that they close. They're not 24/7 like crypto, not 24/7 like a lot of commodities markets either. So we'll inevitably have all these big gaps on here. And because we get these big gaps, we're going to get a lot of noise from the TBO indicator. So I've told people this before, if you only trade stocks, the TBO is most likely not for you, especially on daily timeframes. Maybe you could use it on the weekly, but even so, it's pretty messy. It's not as clean as if we were just going to be trading something like XRP, which is going to be a 24/7 chart. It's going to be much cleaner, much easier to use. We are just looking at the weekly time frame. So you might be wondering, is there an optimal time frame for coins? Yes. And does volume play a big role in this? Yes. So when we're looking here at the TBO, one of the best things that you can do is, first off, focus on the daily time frame first. The longer the time frame, the stronger the symbols, the stronger the confirmation. So for instance, do you see this really, really, really long green line right here? This is letting us know that this level of support at 1.72, we'll just leave it there, is really good support. And notice when we had this crash on October the 10th, it provided us with an optional Well, basically like a deep sea fishing line entry for XRP, which has actually played out well. We also have these long lines back over here that are giving us very strong levels of resistance. Even though we saw XRP shoot up well above $3.20, it failed to really push and hold above that level. So this long historical level has shown us that this is decent resistance, decent support. But the thing is this, if I were to go to the weekly time frame, I'm going to be getting way more symbols here and way more confirmation in terms of support, resistance, and also symbols from the TBO. For instance, here on XRP's weekly chart, back in November of 2024, we had a TBO breakout on the weekly, which tells us that things should explode even higher. Now, if we go here to the daily, during that same period, going back all the way to November, here we go, we can see the TBO breakouts printing a lot sooner. No duh, because it's a faster time frame. So how fast should you really go with this indicator? Can you use the TBO with the 5-minute time frame? Personally, I am very much against using the TBO on the 5-minute, but there are some use cases where you can use it to trade perpetual futures. And that's the only time I'd really want to use it on the 5-minute time frame, mainly because there's going to be a lot of volume. So if we use our free TBT base to quote currency converter, and we have enough volume on the 5-minute time frame, it works. But we also know that not all perpetuals futures charts have the same volume either. We really do need to put everything together. And while you can use it on the 5-minute time frame, if you're going to be using or trading something like PopCat futures, right? The volume is going to be considerably lower, and you're going to get a lot more signal noise. You will be notified quicker to let you know you might want to take some profit out. You might want to take some profit out after the price dumps 11%. You will see support and resistance levels there as well. But again, this is way too much signal noise, and this is not beneficial for me as a trader. Now, this is where things get interesting, though, with the indicator, because I already thought of this. The TBO Pro allows you to customize all 4 of these levels and even the TBO resistance and support levels. But for all of you that don't have it, you can actually adjust the speed of the indicator. So on the 5-minute time frame, it doesn't really make sense to look at it at the standard setting, or even the fast would be even crazier because it's going to tighten up the cloud and it's going to give us way more noise and it's not going to be helpful at all. So what actually helps is to use a slower speed on faster timeframes. And again, 5-minute is really fast. So let's do the hourly instead for PopCat. Now, the difference between using the slow speed and the standard speed is basically we're going to be seeing signals happening later, and we're going to see less noise. It doesn't change the support or the resistance levels, but it changes the strength of the trend. So there are benefits and there are drawbacks to this, but essentially one way you can think about it is that the slow speed multiplies the time frame. So when we're looking at the hourly with the TBO speed of slow, this is basically looking at the hourly time frame, like maybe it's the 12-hour time frame. Maybe I'm just kind of guesstimating. So the inverse is also true. If we're on the weekly time frame for Solana, and we really want to use this chart on Solana, the TBO on the weekly time frame for Solana, but we want to be notified sooner about possible trend changes that are happening, well, we want to use the fast time frame, or like the fast TBO speed setting, because this essentially is dividing our time frame into a faster time frame. So you could think of TBO speed fast on the weekly, like basically looking at what the TBO looks like on the daily time frame with the standard setting. Hopefully that makes sense. The main ways that I use the TBO to make money is using it on the standard setting, mostly on the daily time frame, and just being patient and waiting for one of two things. Either a very big reversal signal, which would be either one or more TBO closed shorts, entering on the pullback to the fast line, staying in the trend as long as I possibly can, or placing bids to buy at very long historical support levels. Another tip I want to give you about using the TBO that's really, really awesome is that you can mentally group a lot of these historical levels together to give you a support zone and a zone of resistance. So you can see these two zones here, even though they're kind of broken up, they actually give us two really good zones here for Solana. A strong level of resistance up here above $240 and a good level of support that has held up between $130 and $115. When we see that these levels of the TBO are overlapping, when we see a lot of these support levels just basically complementing each other, that's going to be a really strong signal. The other way that I love using the TBO is basically getting confirmation signals of a bull or a bear market. And again, have our inverse TBO breakdowns back over here on January 22nd. That was the time to pull the plug. Did we see the price move up 45% from there? Yeah, we did. But did we see the price of Solana in total drop a staggering 91% from these signals? They sure did. And we even got more breakdown signals back over here in May. How do we know it was going to break down? We got these, and we know the trend is down. But it's not all about shorting in a bear market. It's also waiting. The reality of this chart for Solana was so frustrating. January 2023, all the way over here to October 2023. For 280 stinking days, this chart basically was chugging in this awful 56% range. But if you notice a couple of things, we got two clear bullish reversal signals for Solana. The first one back over here in June 2023, and the second one over here in September 2023. Both of these signals gave us incredible entries for really amazing runs for Solana. The first one, premature, 86%, okay. And it let us know if you didn't take profit up here, well, you already learned that really long and strong TBO resistance tends to be respected. So it makes sense to take profit just below this. And we also have some TBO closed longs letting us know, if you haven't taken profit yet, take some. But right here, this is where you're going to make the most money. When you're patient and you wait for the TBO close shorts to print, and then we get confirmation from a TBO open long, and then we get bullish breakout confirmation here on the daily time frame. Even if you just waited for the TBO breakouts, the white dots, after this last one on Tuesday the 31st, this started a rally, an uptrend for Solana that moved all the way up here to some crazy $210 mark. This was a crazy rally for Solana. And again, this is not starting at the very, very, very early one. This is going off of the TBO breakouts on the daily time frame. The important thing about the TBO is not trying to be as early as possible, but trying to remain in the trend as long as possible. And while you're remaining in the trend, you will get notifications about pullbacks if you didn't take profit yet. And by this period, or by this time rather, Solana had already moved up 264%. So if you didn't take profit there, you're getting a warning here. Just take a little bit out at 167. We get another warning here. Just take some profit out here at 200%. It goes up even higher to 500%. We get another one telling us you might want to take some profit out here at 400%, and then it's done. This is where the TBO shines. The idea is trend trading. And with trend trading, you're going to make the most money by staying in the trend as long as possible. So again, going back to Zcash, the real money in Zcash was not made trying to time the ultimate Pico early entry. The real money with Zcash was getting confirmation about a breakout, which started really back over here in late September and rallied all the way up here, 940%. This is why the trending breakout is awesome. This is why I continue to use it over and over. This is how I use it to make money. Now, the last thing I'll tell you that's really, really, really helpful is that we already are sending a lot of these breakout signals and the close short signals over to our Discord server for the Better Traders Club. So if you don't know about the Better Traders Club, I talk about it in every single video that I do for our daily market analysis. And the club has all of these TBO signals that are automatically forwarded to the trader tier, which gives you access to the TBO. But if you're someone who just wants access to the TBO and not everything that's available in the trader tier, you can just get the TBO without all the club stuff. And that way you can get access to the indicator. It comes with some resources where you learn a little bit more than what I'm sharing with you right now here on YouTube. But the idea is the same. This is the best trend-based indicator I've ever used. And I would love for you guys to use it. Let me know. And if you have been using it, leave a comment down below with how you've been using the TBO to make money. And before you go, I want you to watch this video because this is how you're going to use TradingView Scanner and the TBO and some really clever tricks with the bear market that's going to be coming up next year. So watch this video. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.